Alright folks, I'm back still trying to diagnose the knock on this truck, and I've made a little leadway. Took a few suggestions, some advice, and pulled the oil filter. This is the oil filter. I've taken and cut the accordion paper off of it after I removed it from its housing, and I was looking for, abnormal metal wear, chunks of this or that, shiny aluminum, dull aluminum, steel, anything I could pick up with a magnet. And honestly, this thing hasn't had an oil change in a while, and like right here I see a little piece of aluminum. I don't know if the camera is picking that up really well, but there's a few places here I can see, right there's a shiny piece. I mean, I found a little bit of aluminum in here, but that's actually pretty normal or pretty conducive with typical engine wear, in my opinion. Nothing too overly alarming, no large chunks or too many segments of, like I said, it's been a long time since the truck's had an oil change, and the filter is pretty old, so really not too bad, or nothing really new there. But what I did find is I did confirm, I believe I have a few dead injectors. This very front cylinder on the passenger side, you can actually see it, the truck's not even running right now, and I think the camera will pick that up, but it's bubbling. It's bubbling right around that injector. So there's, definitely that injector is screwy. And I'm pretty sure this back one right over here is. And I think there was 2 or 3 on the left side that I found that were considerably colder cylinders as the truck runs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank the truck up, and I'll show you the little process I went through. I just used a heat gun or a thermometer, basically a range thermometer, and I'm able to point it directly at independent cylinders or the exhaust manifold and read the temperature of the exhaust coming out of each cylinder. And cylinders that are running considerably cooler than the others are obviously not running right, and I'm assuming more than likely due to the injectors. But I'm going to go ahead and show you that process just in case anybody ever runs across this, or pretty much has done what I've done, which is the diagnosis and the work to lead you to the bad injectors, but confirming it. Now I'm probably going to go ahead and replace all the injectors on this engine just because it is a 1987 model, and I did replace all the little O-rings and the go-between lines on the injectors, all the little bleed-over lines. I replaced them several years ago, and I replaced some of the O-rings that go under those little fittings. But nevertheless, due to its age, if I have to replace 2 or 3, let's replace all 8. That way I'm not chasing the problem further along. I'm not changing those 3 and at a later date having to change the others. I'm just going to go ahead and put all new 8 in, and we'll see from there. Hopefully this is going to isolate it and take it out, and the knock with the scope really seems to be isolated to this injector and possibly some transmission noise. And I have had a noisy throwout bearing, but I've never heard one make this noise. But more than likely the knock that I'm hearing is a dead cylinder and fuel that's not being burned, the smoke that I'm seeing in the exhaust, because I do have some variation on cylinder temperature, and like I said, you're getting ready to see that now. Alright, let's crank this thing up and we'll start. This is a little aim. All it is a temperature gun. You pull the trigger, it will give you a temperature. It will shoot a laser out. You point the laser at what you want. You go from there. Get a little light down here. You start with the very front cylinder. See the laser beam. And 100 degrees on that cylinder. on. Let's move on to the second cylinder. 135, still a little cool on the second cylinder. This whole passenger side is cold. It's colder than it should be. Around 140 on that one, bouncing around a little. The truck's not as warm as it was a while ago when I ran this test. But nevertheless, let's move on to the passenger side, or the driver's side rather. We're going to go right here and start with the very first cylinder. So she's already up 147, or it was. Second cylinder. Second cylinder's at 152. 12 degrees hotter. Third cylinder in it. Around 160 degrees on that cylinder. Fourth cylinder in it. Around 160 degrees, not far off. As it gets hotter, I had temps earlier of 190 on this side, and the lowest on the driver's side was around 170. So there was still, 20 degrees difference between the two cylinders. Now, whether the injectors will fix all that, well, we'll have to see. I'll have to put them in, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, you can come right back over to the passenger side, where we were getting 160 on the driver. And we're at 110 degrees here on this front cylinder. And this front cylinder seems to be making the most noise, so more than likely that's my injector now. Let's hang this right back up. So like I said, I've been able to use the heat gun, and I think it cost me $23. Not very much. And it's confirmed what I was suspicious of, which injectors were bad. But I'm just going to go ahead and try to replace them all and see if we can't go from there. Alright, well, that's pretty much it, or the progress I've made on it. I also found when I removed the inspection plate for the transmission, that knock is probably 10 times louder. But I've done a visual inspection of the transmission area, the flywheel. I did find 4 teeth with the very ends of them chipped off, but really no damage to speak of, no new wear spots, nothing shiny, nothing, no debris that I could find other than it being old and greasy. Nothing to indicate that there's a new abnormality or something happening in the motor. So I'm pretty sure we're going to replace these injectors and see if this doesn't clear the problem up. Alright, we'll let you guys know what happens.